Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday. It's the 13th of December 2023. It's currently 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember this is never financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees a market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. Okay, I'm going to just bang this out this week. I've got a bunch of stocks that are setting up and some interesting things that I've noted. Just quickly, some of the trades. I got out of AVGO and had earnings and went batshit crazy. So look, I missed that. That's a shame. That was its most magnificent base. It started drifting back into the base, bailed, and then bang. Earnings was coming out, and it's just like holding into earnings is a massive gamble. Yes, this gapped up and went for it, but it could have gapped down and it could be down here right now if it missed its earnings. So I don't really regret it. Holding into that earnings would have been pure gambling. My edge is these bases that just break out and run for it, and this wasn't doing that, so I don't regret it. That's life. Some of the other trades, CDA is still just cruising. Mara got out of my second half of that. I just decided to just take my last third. Decided to take it off the table. It just had such a huge run. I didn't get out of the top, but I got out about 16.10 or something on that last third. So I'm out of that now. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that can reset. I had a loser in LIAN. Okay, it broke out here. Then it came under a offer from some Chinese company at 4.30, and then they rejected the offer, and it's just cruising sideways. I just got out in this chop here for a pretty small loss. Okay, now I just want to rattle through. There's some others, but I think that's the basis of it. I just wanted to point out this loser here because I've had a good run lately, but obviously there are some trades that I've lost money on, which is that's one of them. Now let's just get into some new setups. These are all just found using my Darvis scan. This Darvis scan, okay, just finds most of stocks. That, and I've been doing this big base scan as well a lot. And there's some interesting stuff happening that I wanted to quickly rattle through. Let's just get it up. All right, so BH, obviously world's biggest mining company, blah blah blah. Okay, but I just want to look at what it's done over the last few years. Okay, because it's had wild swings. Okay, but here's the end of the COVID kind of era. July 21, all-time highs. It had a massive collapse from 54 down to 35. Massive rally, massive collapse, massive rally, and then from Jan 23 all this year, it's just been contracting, okay, and massive contraction, and then a massive contraction on top of that. All right, and if we just look what's been happening over the last few months in terms of this area here, this stock has just been literally grinding sideways and doing absolutely jack shit other than basing. It's had a flush out down here where I've got this little box where it flushed these lows, faked out and reversed, and I'm just looking at this thinking shit, this had all the opportunity to break this support and collapse. It didn't. It just based away and then broke up, and I just got to think that that's got to be a bullish sign for commodities and for BH and for this stock and for other similar related stocks. And I own this thing in my self-managed super fund. I've added to it today, and I've just got I've got that gut feeling that we're going to have a nice little period for these major miners. Okay, I was talking about Fortescue last week, or maybe it's the week before. I can't remember, guys. I'm pretty sure it was last week actually. I traded that guy out of this base for those guys who who listen every week. I was getting out on this gap up here. Obviously, I got out too early, right? But I got out, took that profit, and then it Darvis boxed for me. Okay, and here in this Darvis box, and it broke out again. I'm back in that. All right, I have no problem re-entering stocks. Okay, and just back in that, and we'll see how she goes. But a lot of these iron ore stocks are very strong. BH, Rio, Fortescue. I understand BH and Rio don't just do iron ore, right? But the flip side, if you look at a lot of the other resource stocks, it just depends what these companies are digging up. Luca, what was the other one I was going to talk? RGO. They're still in massive downtrends. Okay, let's just chuck PLS in there. it just depends, obviously, what's hot at the moment, what commodities are actually, making companies money, and what are not. And so there's commodities that are in favour, the commodities that are out of favour. I'm not going to take my eye off these big ones in downtrends, because when they do show signs of reversing, that's you can make a lot of money by getting in kind of near that bottom. And obviously then, the one that I don't talk about that much is gold. So, gold's very strong. I didn't mean to put BLD in, I meant to put BGL in. So this is probably one of my favorite gold miners, but, this needs to set up. It's have a good run, it's up at new highs, and, and so I'm definitely watching some of these kind of gold stocks, because the gold price where it is right now, they're going to, some of these guys who have kind of good businesses behind them are going to be printing money if that gold price stays up there, and gold stocks can really trend nicely when they want to, a bit like iron ore stocks can just, once they get in a trend like Fortescue is, this thing can go higher than anyone thinks it will. Okay, they just keep trending and trending and trending. So anyway, I'm going to quickly run through some other stocks. ABB, okay, probably not for me, but I just wanted to talk, bring this up because it just came up in it. It's sitting in a big dove. It's had this flush out here, came down, and now it's basing, but probably going to leave that because I'm just trying to concentrate on blue sky events. So here's Amazon, okay, massive, obviously biggest stock in the world, nearly. He's on the NASDAQ, sitting in the Davis box with fresh blue sky above it. Okay, I'm going to be jumping back in that on a break. I want to talk a little bit about Boral and what's happening here. Okay, it came out with an a revised guidance on 13th of November. I don't think that was actually its earnings date. It was revised. It kind of just upside revision. I think it comes out, the earnings is in Feb, and it had a big gap up, and then tight and really, really nice tightening. All right, and so, there's a lot happening in Australia right now. There's headwinds. There's a lot of work for these guys, and you can go and read some of the announcements if you want to learn a little bit about it. But I look at the issues that our country's facing, and then look at just around the world, like the home building stocks in the US are at new all-time highs, and all around the Western world, a lot of these stocks are rallying. We've got similar issues in Australia, and a lot of our construction stocks are really setting up. Okay, and so I'm kind of bullish on these for the kind of medium term. CIA is a stock sitting in a Davis box. Okay, I talked about this last week, but it's also just majorly contracting. Okay, it's had a double inside days here. So this day here, and then if you look at the high and the low on this day, then this sits within this candle, and this sits within this candle. So it's called a double inside day, and it's contracting. And so, it's lagging FMG, but it's got just massive resistance up here. It tends to break out after FMG, and when it does, it can really rally nicely. So, watching CIA, and I'm keen to trade it. Hub, big resistance on Hub. All right, this is obviously in a different sector, but showing relative strength compared to, if you look at all the other stocks in this sector, this is pretty strong. And there has been a bit of a rally in CBA. So, but let's just go back to Hub. Hub has massive resistance up here. Okay? I know that it's got this wick above it, but just kind of sometimes it's just kind of a bit of irrelevant data. The major significant level on Hub is this resistance line. Massive base there, and watching that for a break. Okay. What else came up? I'm watching good old Tesla. Okay, yes, it's an expensive stock, but Tesla can double just like that. Okay, big resistance here, tightening here. I'm just waiting for this to just tighten up a bit longer. Okay, and then poke its head out of that resistance line. Pretty good risk reward on that one if that happens. Amazon I've already talked about. BH I've already talked about, but this is just sitting in a Davis box now, BH, and there it is, and it's just, if you're skeptical about technical analysis, this is just such a classic example, right? Big base, broke out of the base, returned to the base, the resistance became support, bounced off that support, and now it's sitting in a box, and so it's a class. It's this stuff just repeats itself time and time again. So that's one. MLR, okay, construction machinery stock on the NYSE. Here's a massive base. Well, what's going on? 1 sec. Yeah, so MLR came up in weekly Davis scans, I think, and this has blue sky above it. It's in a massive, obviously, base there, 4150. this company had a gap up here on an earnings report that was, obviously they beat estimates. They're making a lot of money. They're growing, and I like these big bases. Okay, and like guys, that is all. There is so much I could chat about. The All Ords is flying at the moment. It's had a few weeks up in a row, and I just think it's a good sign. But we need to remember that this needs to probably have a sell off and chill out a bit. And I think that the time to be aggressive was probably when all these bases that I was talking about last week and the week before that was setting up. And being really, really, really aggressive after kind of we've had one and then a second leg up is incredibly dangerous. For now, for me, it's about sitting in the positions I'm in and only taking absolute screamer setups that come along that I really, really, really must take because they're perfect. And other than that, I just think if this rallies higher, it's super, super danger period for entering a bunch of new shit. So anyway, that's that. It won't prevent me taking trades that I really like the look of, but I just got to be more careful and wary that the market's been going straight up since these lows, and that's the market is volatile and it will shake people out. Cheers everyone, catch you next week, bye.